in the front row. So James, please lead us for the next 1.5 hours.
Thank you very much, Bjorn, and good morning everyone, and thanks Peter and Julia for your presentation. So here are the panelists. These are the people I'm going to be talking with, dialoguing with, grilling, and then you'll get a chance to talk, dialogue, grill, engage with them later on. So just so you know, we have Rashida from Holcim, Peter from Rio Tinto, Alad from Shell, Jan from POSCO, Peter from Mondi, Juan from Syngenta, and Dr. Asahata from Hitachi, left to right. So we have an interesting panel here today. We have a number of companies, the first couple, the first four, from what traditionally are called the extractive industries. Sometimes business don't like that term, but I mean we're in the mining, milling, and processing natural resource sector where you have high direct impacts and where the challenge often is around mitigation. Then we have two companies, Mondi, Syngenta, who are ecosystem based, forestry and agriculture. And there the challenge is around sustainable management and restoration issues. And then we have one company that's at the very far end of the value chain, Hitachi, perhaps not many direct impacts, but through its supply chain, different type of impacts, indirectly, and also perhaps in the business of developing solutions, although all of our companies are in the solutions business. So an interesting panel. Just a couple of things about the voting question. These are 3 bits of paper. They're FSC certified, if anyone is worried. High recycled fibre content. The virgin fibre is FSC certified, actually made by Mondi, Peter, so they're from your sustainably managed plantations. And we're just going to use these to get some engagement going for questions. So we're going to have a bit of a test run. So I want everyone to locate your bits of paper. So the test question is, if you're from Jeju, hold up red. If you're not from Jeju, hold up yellow. When I say 3, hold them all up at the same time. 1, 2, 3. So there's no one from Jeju. Oh yeah. 1 down the back, 2 down the back, a couple. Okay, was that hard? Okay, now we're going to have another go. Now I want to try and get an idea. Now we know we have a few people from Jeju and the rest of you are global, international, travelled far to be part of this amazing convention. Just so I get an idea of the people in the room. So you need to divide yourself into one of these 3 stakeholder groups. If you're from government, get the red card in your hand. If you're from business, get the yellow card in your hand. If you're from the conservation community, IUCN member, NGO, social NGO, researcher, butterfly expert, whatever it is, you get the green card. So let's get an idea of who's in the room. Eva, you going to take a picture of this with your, oh great, Nelly, okay. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so few government, but what we've really got is a good mix of business and the IUCN membership. And that's great, because we're the 2 groups that are hosting it. Okay, one last question before we start talking to the panel. And this is a slightly more serious one. Okay, so right now, the space you're in right now, thinking about global companies, particularly the WBCSD membership, just give me an idea of how you feel, where you stand in terms of how these companies or how businesses addressing biodiversity and ecosystem services. Get the green card if you feel that some companies are making a good start. So nothing's perfect in the world, but starting to get there. Hold up yellow if you're not sure, you're undecided, you may know of some examples, but a lot more is needed. And hold up red if you feel that no, business hasn't even started. So green if you think, okay, there's some progress being made, yellow if you're a little undecided, and red if you feel you need convincing. So I'll count to 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's a lot of people, there's a group of red people take photos. No, I'm kidding. So we have people convinced, we have some people who are on the stand and then in the middle of the road, and then a number who are saying, okay, we're getting there, or starting to get there. Okay, enough of the questioning to start with. Let's get going. So Rashila is the Biodiversity Program Manager for Wholesome. Each of the companies, just going to make a short 2 or 3 minute intervention, just very briefly introducing the company, outlining their footprint, how they relate to biodiversity ecosystem service, and then how they're responding to it at the moment. So we'll just start with Rashila and we'll go right the way through.
Thank you, James. So good morning, everybody. Just a little bit about Wholesome. Wholesome is a supplier of cement, aggregates, and building materials and related services. We operate in about 70 countries, employing about 80,000 people around the world. And to supply that raw material for the cement and aggregate production, we operate about 500 quarries around the world today. So from a biodiversity point of view, biodiversity management is a strategic issue for us as a company. Our investment decisions are based upon securing long-term, reliable access to these resources. And for us, a proactive approach is essential to ensure that we can continue to get our licenses and our mining rights. As James mentioned in the introduction, we are not directly dependent on biodiversity like some of my fellow panel members, but clearly we have an impact. So the question is, how do we manage and reduce that? And how do we prioritize our efforts over so many sites that we have today? With the help of IUCN, we have developed and implemented what we call an integrated biodiversity management system, which covers our entire site life cycle from site selection through operation, rehabilitation, and eventually closure. A key element of that system that I want to share with you as a starter is this element of a risk matrix to help us prioritize our efforts. We have 500 sites, so how do we choose where we start first? Through this approach, we've mapped our sites based upon the biodiversity importance and the impact to that biodiversity from our operations. And while all sites incorporate a minimum level of biodiversity management through the rehabilitation, for example, not using invasive species, using the native and endemic species, the highest level of management is applied to what we call sensitive sites, and there we require a biodiversity action plan. We have set a target for ourselves as a company that 80% of sites that we defined as sensitive will have a biodiversity action plan in place by the end of next year, by 2013. For us, working with expert partners has been key to developing our strategy and policy, and now we're working to deliver results on the ground. Here we need to collaborate with local partners to help us implement the BMS and address local issues together. Also, with IUCN, we are now working to develop indicators to help us measure our impacts and the effectiveness of our management. And actually, we have a workshop to discuss that tomorrow. So I will leave it at that as an introduction to the company. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Rashila. Peter.
Thanks, James. Rio Tinto is one of the largest diversified mining companies in the world. We have a concentration of assets in Australia, North America, but we also have a growing footprint in the developing world. We're currently looking at some very large projects in some developing countries. I think for me the conversation about biodiversity starts with our overall business strategy and how we manage risks into the business. Rio Tinto's strategy is all about developing large, long-life, low-cost assets around the world. And to do that, really, as sort of the introductory presentations have said, we need access to natural resources, land, water, and other resources. And so fundamentally this is about our license to operate. When we're operating assets for the very long term, sometimes 20, 30, 40 years plus, having that license to operate in the social and environmental sphere is absolutely critical. Biodiversity is core to that overall approach to SD. For us, land access is absolutely critical. Being seen to be a good steward of our land assets is sort of fundamental. Our stakeholders are increasingly expecting that of us. We started thinking about biodiversity seriously in the late 1990s when it was clear to us that it was becoming more and more of a critical issue for civil society. And that really translated in 2004 to the commitment we made at the Congress in Bangkok to net positive impact. And I think fundamentally our approach around biodiversity since then has been building overall architecture to give substance to that on the ground internally. So we've been sort of really looking at all the component parts that we need in place to enable our operations around the world to start really demonstrating on the ground what can be done. And that has a number of sort of important components to it. It has a corporate overall strategy towards biodiversity. It has the commitment around NPI. It has the measurement that goes with that and the offset principles to give it a reality. It also has a methodology for screening out our high sort of value biodiversity sites so that we can focus on those. It has tools and guidance notes, including biodiversity action plans, NPI accounting, to really again give substance to that. And finally, we're working on a verification protocol so we can actually show the external world what we're doing on the ground. Really, again, similarly, our partnerships have been absolutely critical to that journey that we're undertaking around putting in place that architecture, particularly members of IUCN to get to where we've got to today. Still a long way to go, we're still building, but that's the journey we're on. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Allard.
Thank you, James. Good morning, everyone. Just a couple of words about Shell. We operate in about 90 countries around the world. We employ 100,000 people directly, but indirectly, probably over 500,000. And if you include another set of contractors, probably 2 million on any given day during the year. Shell is working hard to meet the energy needs of the world. That sounds possibly superficial and easy to express, but actually it's a hard work. Peter alluded to it, 9 billion people in 2050. Vehicle population will grow from 800 million today to 2 billion, and the energy demand will grow by 100% in 2050. We believe through all the models and scenario planning we've done that by 2050 there will still be a need for 65% of fossil fuels supplemented by 35% of renewable fuels. In all of that, Shell's share of the hydrocarbon or fossil fuel market, if you like, is not more than 3%. So although we're one of the largest companies in the world, we still do not have a market share that exceeds 3%. All in all, that means that the challenge the company is faced with, that era of easy oil or easy energy doesn't exist anymore. We're continuously faced with more challenging environments, with frontier areas, a higher degree of sensitivity, higher degree of biodiversity, higher degree of dependence on ecosystems. And there's no simple solutions. These are large-scale projects, integrated, multi-year, with often a very large footprint. In addition, I think it's fair to say in our industry, you're as good as the worst operator. So although we may feel that we'd like to lead the way, or although we may feel that we set best practice and examples, you're often judged by the entity that participates, or is also a player, who may actually have different norms and standards in that respect. So that's to a certain extent a challenge. How do we move from a well-intended couple of happy few companies to a larger acceptance and a higher set of standards that will actually help address the challenges that we're all faced with. At the same time, that does gives us the opportunity. It gives us the opportunity to sustainably manage our business activities in these sensitive environments and in these key ecosystem services. We believe that can be achieved through an extensive collaboration, certainly with NGOs across the world. We are very privileged to have well-established partnerships with 4 NGOs, many of those here in the room. Earthwatch, Nigel, good to see you. IUCN, of course, the Nature Conservancy, and Wetlands International. These partnerships and this collaboration actually enables us to bring in the expertise of the partners to help us frame the solutions, to help us address the challenges that we're faced with, and help us create best practice. We also work, of course, through industry organizations, not because we believe it will get us to the lowest common denominator, but because we are a strong believer in the fact that all of the industry needs to live by the standards we believe are necessary to get that license to operate, to achieve that license to grow. Part of the solution that we see with regards to these challenges, because there's no simple solution, there's no silver bullet, is that we have actually also started to, in new partnerships even, where, and there's 2 examples I could give, is where we, in the Canadian oil sands area, we work together with the other operators and have combined forces in the research and development area, where all of the companies have decided not to adhere to intellectual property rights, but collectively try and address the challenges that industry is faced with. And as we all know in this room, that industry certainly has its challenges. Another new way of addressing the ecosystem services and challenges associated is related to food, water, energy nexus work. We collaborate with a number of other large institutions and companies, as well as with NGO, to address how new business models and integration of value chain and new solutions may actually allow us to go to scale and address the challenges. One of those solutions may be related to what we call green infrastructure. So rather than look at mechanical and technical solutions to an issue, how would nature allow us to address, and how could nature help address some of the concerns we have? And Oman reed bed water sanitation system is one example. All in all, and to wrap up, we believe that the only way forward is through collaboration and through integration in the normal business decision processes and activities. We have a control framework where all the standards are laid out. We expect our businesses to have biodiversity action plans. We expect our businesses to address ecosystem services concerns. We expect our businesses to engage with local communities and stakeholders, and we expect our businesses to protect the environment in which they operate. That is measured, that is tracked, that is valued. That is how we express our expectations to our suppliers, to our contractors, and that is how we execute our business. And through that, we've managed to make it mainstream rather than add-on thought. I'll leave it at that.
Thanks very much, Alad. Jan.
Thank you, James. POSCO is iron and steel making company, and it is established in 1968. The POSCO produced 37 million tons of crude steel last year and ranked as the 4th largest steel company in the world. POSCO has 2 steelworks. One is in Gwangyang, the other is in Pohang. Since raw materials for iron and steel making, such as iron ores and coal, are imported from foreign countries by ship, like Australia, Canada, and Brazil, both steel works are located in seaside for the efficiency of material distribution. Therefore, maintaining healthy marine environment is one of the key areas for POSCO to maintain sustainable development. Meanwhile, since the first marine whitening phenomenon discovered in the coastal area in 1970s, it was spread to eastern and southern coast of Korean Peninsula and Jeju Island, with increasing the frequency of occurrence. As the algae disappeared, the number of other marine living organisms has been decreased and thus threatened the ocean's ecology. In 1998, POSCO explored an idea of using steel slag for promoting marine afforestation in damaged areas. Steel slag is an environmentally safe byproduct of steelmaking process, and it has been widely used in construction, civil engineering, and soil fertilization. POSCO established a set of strategies and worked with RIST. It stands for Research Institute of Industrial Science and Technology, to restore marine habitats using steel slag. After years of research, POSCO and RIST developed a steel slag marine structure called Triton.